This is a very off-schedule video. Hello, YouTube. So, hello, YouTube, indeed. This is a very off-schedule video, and it's a bit of a tough one for me to make because my bread and butter is very much, as you all know, artistic content, painting content, tutorials, tips. It's very rare that I break the fourth wall and address my audience directly or say anything outside of the context of creating art. And so I was a little bit unsure as to whether or not I should make this video. But I think it's really important to wear your heart on your sleeve when you're a content creator, you know, to be real with your viewership. And so I wanted to make this video mostly to say a huge heartfelt thank you. For a bit of context, when the announcement of Indomitus landed, I was absolutely hyped. New Space Marines that suit one of my armies, new Necron miniatures that would be cool and fun to paint, a wealth of opportunities to create cool new content for you folks, and more important than anything else for me is making relevant content. So when the whole world is excited about this box set and really, really hyped, the idea of bringing you folks a bunch of content about a subject that you're really excited about, that makes me really excited as a content creator. That's amazing for me. As it got closer and closer to the pre-order for the Indomitus box, it became very clear to me that I wasn't going to be able to get it. I knew for probably at least a week before the pre-order went live, maybe a couple of weeks. And the reasons for that, I don't want to go into too much detail on, but suffice it to say, essentially the financial implications mean that even though that is a business cost, the cost of running my business, of making content for YouTube, for Twitch, for social media, it very much falls within that. But I just could not justify the expense. Not even justify, I straight couldn't afford the expense. And then it started to look quite clear as to how short a length of time we would have to grab them, how quickly they were going to sell out. It became quite obvious that they were going to sell out very, very quickly. And so not only was it then a case of I couldn't afford it when pre-orders went live, but it was a case of realizing that I wouldn't be able to afford it by the time it had sold out. Now, obviously, even just from one wargamer to another, I'm sure you can imagine that was very disappointing to me. But more than anything, the disappointment came there from the realization that the content I was going to make for the next couple of months wouldn't be about things that people were excited and passionate about. And really, that is, for me, where I perceive the value of content creation. It is about engaging with other people's passion and excitement. And so if the content that I'm forced to make by situational constraints is not the content that I want to make, my true passion is not present there. And if it's not relevant to you folks, your true passion is not going to be reflected in how you receive that content. Now, I took a few days really for all of this to sink in, and I was kind of feeling pretty crushed by it. But then I came up with what I felt like at the time was quite a clever idea. I said to myself, you know, don't be defeated by this. It's just a financial situation. It isn't your fault. It's not anyone's fault. Things are just this way sometimes. And the important thing to do here is to find a way to make this work in spite of the setbacks. And so I realized I paint miniatures every week on YouTube, but I also paint commissions. That's actually how I make my living. I'm a full-time commission painter. The content creation stuff that I do is to support that, and it is an extension of that. So regardless of whether it's being filmed or not, I'm painting other people's miniatures, other people's belongings in general, every single week. And so I realized that if I maybe make a post on social media, I could offer to paint people's Indomitus miniatures for free. And essentially what this is I hook you up with a free commission, and in exchange I get to still make Indomitus content. So everyone wins. You know, the customer gets something that they'd normally pay 75 quid for. And I get the pleasure of being able to still make content using those miniatures, which was so important to me when this box set was first announced. What I didn't expect was the response to that video, and that's really, sorry, the response to that post, and that's really what's prompted me to want to make this video briefly. And I am trying my best to keep it short here, so I won't go into it too much, but suffice it to say, the generosity of the wargaming community has absolutely left me staggered. Not only am I going to be able to make a small select amount of Indomitus related content in order to hook a few people up, but I'm actually going to have my choice of being able to make Indomitus based content on the entire contents of the box. And that's thanks to the combined generosity of some wonderful people on Twitter. You're going to be hearing a lot of shout outs during that Indomitus content as it comes up. You're going to be hearing me thanking a lot of people, and that is because each individual who is donating something to the channel for me to paint, they will be getting an individual shout out. So the point of the video really is primarily Indomitus content will be happening. I was worried, sincerely worried, that it wasn't going to happen, but there will be plenty, both on the Necron and Space Marine sides. I'm probably going to focus mostly on Space Marines first and then switch back to Necrons, because we have done some Necron content recently. But around the launch of Indomitus, you can now expect that to happen. So that is a fantastic relief, and thank you so much to everybody who has contributed to be able to make that happen. It is absolutely incredible that people are willing to be so kind as to help out with that. There is obviously also the underlying message, and I don't want to be too much of a preachy hippie about it, but that is, you know, in the face of adversity, don't give up. Use your mind, set it to the task, and think if there are ways that you can turn a bad situation into a positive situation. In this particular case, I came up with an idea to turn a bad situation into a manageable situation, and thanks to the incredible kindness of people around me, that manageable, okay situation has now turned into an incredible, better than I could have imagined situation. And it really reminds me of the importance of trying to stay positive. The hobby community has been through a lot of negative things recently. There's been some really terrible things, and those of you that frequent Twitter especially will be very, very aware of the issues that are going on at the moment. And I like to think that these things do bring us closer together and make us a more solid community. These are things that galvanize us in our hope that we can just treat each other with kindness and respect and try not to cause any harm to the people around us, and as a result of that, have a really fulfilling, engaging and exciting experience with this hobby that we share. And ultimately for me, that's certainly what it's all about. So I do want to keep this video at least a little bit miniature painting related. The point is very much that thank you, and once again I do reiterate that thank you. It means the absolute world to me. But we are getting on for 10 minutes of me nattering at a camera now, and I do want to provide you with some miniature painting content. So I'm also going to use this as an opportunity to present you with just a short little video reel now of some of the miniatures that I've painted, both for the channel and just in general. Some of them are commissioned, some of them are my own, but just a few minis that I really like, that I really enjoy, that I'm really happy with, and show you a proof in the pudding, as it were, that your excitement and engagement, and when you back me, when you get behind me, when you contribute to this content, the direct product of that is my excitement and enthusiasm and enjoyment, and thus the product being the painted miniatures that you see on the channel. And I really just wanted to say, you know, for all of the kind, beautiful, wonderful things that you folks who watch these videos do, every one of these miniatures has a bit of that in them, and I just thought it'd be quite nice to show a bunch of them together. So we're going to go to that now, and I'm going to just say thank you one last time. Those of you that have contributed something, you know who you are. You will be getting your individual shout outs when the time comes to paint your specific things. But again, you humble me. Thank you so, so much. I really do appreciate it. And I can't wait to start painting some Indomitus stuff for you. So thank you, everyone. And I will see you in just a couple of days with some more lovely tutorial content. Bye for now.